Hey everybody, how's it going? So thanks for coming along to another episode of Tinyani Gardens here in Planet Zoo, and this is the viewpoint from the main entrance. So if you've missed the series so far, this is what we're building. Tinyani Gardens is very much based on Trentham Gardens in Stoke-On-Trent, pretty much plagiarising it, right? But up until now, we've not been building a zoo. That's about to change. Let's get straight on with it. So it's taken way more effort than I thought it was going to. So much more time than I had planned. And yes, a couple of tantrums towards the game. Because my god, this game is borked beyond belief. For a game that's so far in its development cycle, I cannot believe that so many bugs still exist. Anyway, I could go on a rant, and I'm sure I'm going to point out some of the flaws, but hey, Tinyani Gardens has got some life! Yes! So before I take you on a tour, let's just have a look at the overview. You can see there's quite a lot of placeholder stuff. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to freak out the game with what I was doing, so I've had to place some stuff around. Of course, this is all going to be put into place as I go around and start decorating. So for now, it's just functional rather than beautiful, right? You know how this works by now. So let's meet some of the new residents of Tinyani Gardens. Let's go ahead. So the first thing, the first things, animals, what do you call them? I don't know what they're called. The first entities, whatever you want to call them. The first creatures. Yeah, we could go on like this forever. Look, otters. Yay! So otters are native to Britain. They do live outside in the world. So this would be a kind of habitat for them. Now, in real life, right? This is my first rant about the game. In real life, the otters would tend to stay in a local area. They wouldn't go far. So you wouldn't need a pen. You wouldn't need any of this. They're quite happy to be around people. But of course, the game wants us to have a habitat. So that's what we've done. But now you can see what's happening, right? This is the first Bork of the game. I don't know how or why or what they've done, but Frontier have completely messed up the deep diving mechanic, right? So all of this, despite the fact that these had actual fences, like the strongest fence that you could have in game, just as a tester, and I also used building pieces and I used double building pieces, they were still diving through the stuff, right? Now let me also just show you this. So despite the fact that this is traversable area, ignore the fact that this is saying that it's an escape thing. It's because I've chosen to do this. But even when I had actual fences up, the traversable area was only this area, yet they were still swimming through. So, well done, guys. Great coding. So anyway, I could go on a rant. Honestly, I'm quite angry at this game at this point, but hey, it's fine. It's not your fault. It's not the viewers. It's not your fault. So anyway, we've got otters. And so what I've done is I've just put this, I've kind of figured that they're going to escape anyway, so I may as well just steer into the skid. And I've actually put these fences, these custom built fences with buoys, around it. And this is typically what you would have. It would mean that this is the habitat for them to actually go and live. And boats and everything wouldn't really go in here. And it warns boats and stuff actually that there are fences here. And this in real life would actually stop the otters from escaping. Now, I've had to turn a few settings off from the game, which kind of, it's ironic that the more settings you turn off, the realer this game becomes. It's frightening. I've turned off the ability to escape, and that's why they're auto-captured and put back to the gate. Otherwise, it just becomes an admin nightmare. I've also turned off welfare, and I have also turned off aging, dying, and the habitat requirement as well, because for foxes and stuff, I'll talk to you about that later. So anyway, that's my rant about the otters. The next guys that we've got, these are cute. Yeah, okay, the game looks good, right? It doesn't play very well, but it's great. The little foxes. Now, these are foxes that come from the desert, but we would just have to pretend that these are native to the UK foxes. And they would roam quite freely. They roam quite happily, and this is the reason that I've turned off the habitat requirement, is because these guys require sand, but obviously we're going to have a lot of built-up vegetation, trees, and whatever that wouldn't be native to these guys, these as a species. So, yes. So we've got these guys. They're in a pack. They've formed a pack whilst I've been playing. So This is all good. So we've got some foxes. Hooray for the foxes! And their habitat, by the way, stretches quite a way. So they come all the way around this way and come around to the back of the food unit that we've got here. There we go. And I'm using double gates, by the way, because we get quite a few guests coming through this way, and these gates can't quite keep up with just having one of them, so I've got two just in case. So next we come around to flamingos. Now these aren't necessarily native to UK wild, but they are definitely native to a place like Trentham Gardens. Trentham doesn't have them, but you would find them somewhere like that, right? So I've just put a load of flamingos in here. I just thought, yeah, why not? Guests can walk through their habitat, but I've chosen for them not to in this one. Now I've also hidden a load of foraging things because they need a lot of enrichment, a lot of food enrichment. So I've just hidden them along the shores. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a load of hedges and stuff all along here just to hide those. So it actually looks like they're foraging inside the hedgerows and stuff. So this is cool. And then this is what this island was for. Turns out the flamingos aren't actually using the island, but it's fine. They've got the island if they want it. And my whole plan originally was to have the flamingos that were going to be on the island, and you'd be able to look at them from here. Yeah, that didn't quite work out as planned, but they're in the water, so it works out just as well, right? So it's fine. And now because this is quite far away from the existing keeper's hut, I've had to put a couple up here. Now there is going to be a facility up here, I just haven't put it up there yet, so this is just temporary. It's not going to stay there, and of course it's not decorated. Then we come around to our next residence. So here we go, peafowl. Of course we're going to have peafowl. Now Trentham Gardens, by the way, they have things like geese and swans and whatever, and they're again loose in the wild, and they go, you know, they'll come up to you and let you feed them and stuff. They're really, really cool. And ducks as well. They're really, really cool. So I've kind of wanted to have this aspect with the peafowl. It's the closest we're going to get. We don't have ducks and swans and stuff, so this kind of does what I wanted it to do. People still interact with them. Technically they feed them burgers. They shouldn't do, so I need to put some of the signs up. But this is going to be their nice open pen, right? So and their habitat stretches from here, and again, in real life you wouldn't need a habitat. They would find an area and they would stay within that area. But of course Planet Zoo wants us to do this, so that's what I've done here, is I've just created a habitat. And I'm using mesh fences, by the way, so that I can hide them in amongst shrubbery and bushes and whatever. So it's still functional in game, but I can hide them and make it look like it's that they're actually in a habitat. So yeah, so that's the peafowl. Now then we've got, I am torn with this one, and I don't know, I might put this out to the community poll, but because this episode's going to go out way in advance, I don't know what's going to happen. But I've got seals. I put seals in, so it felt like there needed to be some kind of headline animal attraction, and this is one of the habitats that I wanted to have. So I've put the grey seals in. Of course, this habitat is trash, right? I've made no effort with this whatsoever. I've just made it functional, so I need to kit it out and make it lovely. But it seems to be popular. People seem to be coming over here, so it feels like this is the right area to have it. But again, it's being balked by the deep diving mechanics, so this in theory should stop them from escaping. And I wonder if it's actually going to let me show you. There you go. So that's exactly what I mean. It's not traversable area, and the fence should be stopping them, but it's not. So it's what it is. Oops. There we go. So I've got these grey seals. Not sure. I've got a couple of animals as well that I'm going to put in, but not yet, because I need to do all of the stuff up here. So my next port of call then, I need to kit out and decorate at least everything that's down this way, and this way. So I'll see you in a minute. Alright, so I stopped myself building for a while because I've got quite a lot to show you over on the left hand side. There's quite a lot of changes happening, but I wanted to come back to the front entrance just to get a feel for the whole park and the whole landscape, and just to show you that there's nothing happening over here. So that's the update. See you later. I'm joking. So I've actually come down to a lower level as well, because there's lots of trees, and you know what my camera work is like with trees. So let's go for a walk. So this is the main entrance. So you've come off the bridge and you've turned left, and so you can see that guests are now really using this area, and it's looking awesome. I like this part of the park because it breathes. There's a lot of open space. It's a lot of stuff to see, but it's not too intense, and it's going to get intense when we get to the back here, because you could now start to see that this is all wooded in the back area. So what I've done here is I've just made a bit more of a feature of these sculptures down on the left hand side, and of course you can see the railway line, and that's how I wanted it. There's the sculptures again on the left hand side. And then we're going to come past the railway line again, and we're going to cross over. By the way, in case you're wondering, this tip of how to do this, there's a Planet Coaster Top Tips video where I talk about the railways. It's exactly the same principle. It's exactly the same method. So if you want to go and see that, if you're coming here because of Planet Zoo and you don't know about my Planet Coaster stuff, then go and check that out. That'll teach you how to do these. But this is the main difference, right? It's now for it's lagging a little bit, struggling with all of the animals that need rescuing from the water. This is the view now. This is looking so good. Like, yeah, even I must admit it's looking good. So we're going to walk this way because the railway has been touched up slightly, and the path, let me just come back a bit lower again. Well, that's too low. Oh God, I was going that low so the camera work wasn't so shoddy. Yeah, that didn't work, did it? So anyway, going back this way, here's the otters. So the otters area has now been completely kitted out. It's just looking so good. This is now a picnic area, and this is exactly as I wanted because it was quite a big space. And this bark path actually is perfect for what you want it to be. You can hear in the background you've got the otters narration going on, and I wanted this to not be so intrusive. So yes, it's a viewing area, but what I have to remember is these animals are supposed to be free roaming. People Did you see that flying through the air then? People aren't supposed to come to Tinyani Gardens to look at animals. You're supposed to come to walk around the park, and the animals just happen to be part of it. But we also need to bow down to our zoo overlords by knowing that this has to operate as if it's a zoo, right? So this is why we've got these barriers and stuff. And it looks all right. I'm quite impressed with how this is. I toyed with having it open, but otters don't really like openness, so we'll keep it like this. But anyway, we're supposed to be looking at the area, so lots of foliage, lots of plants, lots of things. So go walk around the lake round by me just to get a feel for how things are set up in terms of foliage and what you find and how it's all laid down and placed together. And again, it's just this overgrown nature, or not overgrown, but it's this wild nature. It's left to nature to do its thing. And then we're going to come down this way to our next sculpture on the sculpture trail, and of course it's the otters, right? So what else would it be? It's going to be the otters. And then you just get this awesome view across the lake, and of course this is going to be finished in the next update, so this will be a completely different view all over again. And so we're going to come back this way, and we're going to let the guests be hit by the train. And then we're going to come into the foxes. I've just called this Otters and Fox Valley, by the way. There's a post open on the community tab to name these. So I'm just using Otters and Fox Valley. So we're going to come through the gates, and this is where you'll see that a lot of stuff has changed. Whereas this was an open field before, it isn't anymore. So down here, I wanted this area to breathe. This needs to be an area that the foxes can roam and play and stuff. So that's what we're doing down here. And then Trentham Gardens has this amazing display of flowers, and I want on the side of a hill, and I wanted to mimic that with these African daisies, and so that's what we're doing here. This guy looks like he's looking at the daisies, but I bet there's a fox in there. Now, the beauty of using these African daisies is that the foxes are willing to run through. It doesn't actually obstruct their path, so it works out quite nicely. I'm just going to quickly change my camera. There we go. And then up here we've got a picnic area that I've just put together. I wanted it to be grass. It's a shame that we've got the outline of the path. I just wish we had borderless path, but we don't, so it's fine. This is good enough. But I wanted the picnic on top of the hill, picnic area on top of the hill. So that's what we're doing. So that's what we're doing here. And then we're going to walk back this way. And again, it's a bit open, and it's supposed to be a little bit open because it's supposed to breathe. But as we come around the corner, Oh, we've got these tunnels, by the way, these logs, the foxes run through, and it looks really cute when they do, and then people watch them do it. It's great. And then we come through this way, and now we start to get into the wooded area. So I've really padded it out with lots and lots of foliage and lots of stuff, right? So you can see like all the trees and everything around. And we're going to walk through this way, still continuing with the gravel path. The African daisies on the other side, but you can just see it's really overgrown. And the idea that I wanted here was that the foxes would be hiding out inside. That dude's just come out of the hedge. It's the foxes that are meant to be hiding, not the zookeeper. So anyway, the foxes are supposed to be hiding in all of this shrubbery and all of this bushery, and they'll pop out every now and again. And it's a place for them to actually escape from the guests, because they do get stressed. So then we come through this way, and you've got the holly bushes, and that just creates a bit of a sightline obscuring thing for the train. And then you've just still got all of these shrubs and everything coming through this way. And then we're going to carry on through the forest, and then it opens up slightly into like a bit of a pathway and whatever. It's almost like a beaten down path. It doesn't lead anywhere, it just takes you to the railway line. But I just wanted this idea that you could walk down there if you wanted to. And then you've just still got all of the shrubbery and stuff on the... Whoops. What am I doing with the camera? Still got the shrubbery on the left-hand side. And then we're going to carry on walking, and we go through more trees. And then we've got a fox exhibit down the bottom here. I'll show you that in a moment. But what you can't see through here, well, you can now. So that's where they sleep. That's their bedding. So that's like the hard shelter that the zoo part of this whole experience requires. And then there's a water thing there, so if you are so inclined and you catch the foxes just in time, you'll actually see them sleeping under there and everything, and that's actually quite cool. Now we come down here. I've used the red pandas and the single fox. I don't know what this art exhibit would be all about. It looks like the pandas are preying on the fox, right? But I wanted this idea of nature coming together and them actually experiencing this fox and making friends, like friends in random places and stuff. But it actually looks like they're being a bit predatory. It's fine. I don't think red pandas hunt foxes, so it's fine. And then of course we've got all the flowers and stuff down here, so it's the same principle of having a bit of a hideaway, lots of reeds and stuff. And then I've just brought in these flowers. Now if we had foxgloves in the game, this would be everywhere, because obviously it's the fox area, right? And the foxgloves are these beautiful purple flowers that are really tall. They look a bit like a reed, but they're not. So I'm just using these instead, just to almost represent and mimic what you may find. You'd also find a lot of bluebells in this area as well, especially like in May. This area would be covered in bluebells, but of course we don't have bluebells in games, so we're not going to do that. So anyway, we're going to carry on walking this way, and we're going to still walk past another open area. So they need an area for them to play, and you can see where they would have been because it's all mud and dirt and stuff, and the grass hasn't actually grown. And then we go past the railway line this way, and then we're going to come out of the fox exhibit. Let me just change my camera again. So there we go. Come out of the fox exhibit, and then you open up into the lake. So here we go. That view just suddenly appears from nowhere. It's just brilliant. Like, just standing from back here where you're walking towards it, you think, oh, okay, there's the lake. Let's go and check that out. And then you've just got the toilet block on the left hand side here that's slightly hidden by all of the foliage. And then you've just got the food place that's here. And then you walk forward, and then you just open up into a landscaped area, and then you keep going into the lake. And now you can see from this side that view that we had from before, that was all completely blank and all completely nothingness, it's now completely made up. So this is what it looks like from the top. Lots of change that's going on, so you can see that I've padded out all of the forest. I've started to do the bits over here. This is going to be a bit of a final episode thing where I start touching this up, because I need to do the stuff all around here and whatever. So but yeah, you can see that this is how it's all looking from the water line, and I've just put in all of the reeds and stuff along here. And I wanted to keep some areas around the otters free so that they can actually roam and they can get into the water, even though they shouldn't be allowed to because they swim away. But it's fine. And then just over here, I've also done some hard shelters for the otters as well. So this is where they sleep, or they sleep there apparently. What's really cool is that this is traversable, so the otters will come up on top of here, and they actually jump into the water from the top here, and that's actually quite a nice little touch. The otters when they're playing and not sleeping. He is sleeping, by the way. I've disabled deaths in game, so he's definitely sleeping. So yeah, guys, that's everything. So my next port of call is to finish this area here. It's not going to be so wooded. It's actually going to be quite open, and then we can wrap up the episode. So I'll see you in a minute. And so it seems only fitting that we round out this episode where we left off. We're back at the end of the lake, and we're looking towards the peafowl and the pavilion. And look at how good this is. It's done. Look. It's done. And do you remember back in episode 3 when I said that the view on here is going to be spectacular? I think this is a spectacular view. I'm loving this. It's just so foresty and so naturey, and it's exactly as I thought this was going to look. I'm so excited to show you around. Okay, so we are over this way. We are struggling because the animals are still having to be relocated. But we're down the path here. We go down the path. So there we have some new people. We have all new things to show you up at the top here. I'll come to that in a moment. But we're going to walk down this way, and we can see the flambeaux. There they are, right across the lake. And you get a pretty decent view, actually, of the boats and everything across the lake here, right? So it's looking good. And we're going to carry on walking down this way. So I've kitted this out with more foliage and more stuff, you know, like it's loads of trees and whatever. And I found broken trees. I didn't realise they were in game. So, of course, this is a foresty area, and you'd have some kind of forestry going on. So you're going to have broken trees and trees that have been cut down. So I've gone back and retrospectively added those throughout. So you'll be able to see those in the tour, but I'm going to show you those bits like here. I just wanted to have this little cut through here. It feels like where you've got two paths, people are going to create some kind of a shortcut. And then, of course, they would have put boulders and everything to stop people from doing that. So we're going to carry on walking down this way, past the next exposed part of the flambeaux. So they do actually come up here. I was down here earlier on, and I saw some of them playing in the water and whatever here. So they do come down this far. There's some more broken trees, just to give it that more foresty look. Let me just change the camera. There we go. And then we've got ourselves another sculpture. So this one I wanted the serpent in this space. For no real reason. It was just it needed something there, and of course it then acts as a cut through to the top, which is a spoiler. You can probably see what our new visitor actually already is. And then here's the final view of the flambeaux then. So they actually feed in these pools here. It looks awesome when they get fed. Otherwise they seem to be just happy out on the water. I'll leave them be. So it's fine. And then I've just put some broken trees that are laying down on the ground as well. Again, it's that idea of it feeling forestry. I'm making it as real in that feeling as possible. So then we come down this way, and we've got the pathway that takes us down past the lake. So we've now got some more sculptures here, and just some more foliage and everything around. But this one is focusing on the view of the lake, whereas the other one is more view of the forest. And that's what I've tried to do. I've tried to make each one of the sculpture places have a different view, or a different focal point of the area. So here you can see, like, you can still hear the flamingos. And do you know what? They're going to smell. Flamingos really, really smell. But you can see the beautiful blue lake. Okay, so we're going to carry on this way. I'm going to go past some more flowers. So I've actually mixed up the flowers here. This is like almost like a wildflower. And we've also got hawthorn, I think this is, or blackthorn bush, I think, in. And then again, just some more felled trees just to give it that ambience. Coming through this way, another cut through. So I wanted another like hidden cubby path, because the idea of this part of Tinyani Gardens is it's supposed to be about exploration. You're supposed to be able to wander through the forest safely and go and find new things, you know, find new flowers, find new animals, and all of that sort of stuff. And then we're going to come this way, and then we've got another sculpture, but this one's out on the water. So I wanted there to be a jetty or a pier. just so you could come out into the water and you could almost feel like you are part of the lake, exposed to the lake. So that's why I wanted to have this one. I mean, you get a pretty decent view of everything around here, right? It's just looking beautiful, exactly as I wanted it. And then of course you've got a reason to come here. You've just got the modern art sculpture, and then we have a picnic area. So I wanted this one to be a little bit overgrown, a little bit unused, a little bit unkempt. So that's what we're going for here, this idea of an unused picnic area, and it's all fine, it's all good. And then we're going to come through into the peafowl area. Now this is where it opens up into more of a meadow. I think that's the right... Yeah, so it's not so foresty, like, whereas you look back and you can see that there's lots of trees, lots of forest, lots of foliage and lots of everything going on. But this one is supposed to open up into a field. There we go. I thought the game was going to crash then, and that was going to be frustrating, because that's all that's happened. So we open up into a field, and then we come over this way. So this has just got a few trees dotted around and just a few... bits of nature and everything, and of course we're lining off all of the coastline, the shoreline with the reeds and everything. Now I have moved the feeding pats, so these foraging areas where the keeper will come in and put the food, because that actually gives a better interaction with the people walking past this way. So they'll actually come down and they will forage and everything down here. So I've kind of left that out as is, and you now get some pretty decent donations as well. Hooray! Thanks for the money. And then we're going to keep walking this way, and then you come out into the pavilion area, and it's that nice open wide area. So in terms of the view from the pavilion, we now have this as the view from the pavilion. Looks so good. It's just what I wanted, and it's now given purpose to all of the deck chairs and everything that were here. And now we've got a third pathway, which I'm not going to take you up there actually, because that's for the next episode. I need to do some stuff up there, and some stuff in this area as well. But this one across the top here, then of course this just takes you into the peafowl. There they are. Hello, mate. And then I don't know what... Oh, you're taking a picture. I was like, what are you doing? And then we're just going to walk this way, and again it's just this idea of being a stroll in the park. This is not meant to be super detailed, super vegetative. There's not supposed to be a lot going on here. It's just supposed to be a nice open area, a nice open space to enjoy the sun and to walk through. And then of course this comes down here, and then you can either come down this way to the picnic area or this way across the top. There's no animals in this area here. I've kept that intentional. There's supposed to be the wooded walkland, but there are new animals at the top. Yay! So I thought long and hard about this, and when I put the third pathway in, so just to give you an idea, this is the third pathway along here. When I put it in, I wanted to have something at the top, and it felt like it needed to be like a hoofed animal, something like a horse or something. I didn't want to use zebras because it's not an African. It's not a zoo. It's not a zoo. So it needed to be some kind of hoofed animal, though. Something big, something chunky. And so I went for the llamas, because people can walk through the exhibits and they smell. So, llamas. Hello, llamas. You look a bit patchy. Are you actually unwell? Or are you just... That's just your colour scheme. I don't know, because they come in different colours. The last time I put llamas in a zoo, they were all white, and it's all changed. So yeah, I put the llamas at the top here, just to sort of fill out everything. So plan for the next episode then, which is actually going to be the last episode. There's only one episode that's left, and it's this area here. So we need to do what is essentially the managed garden. We need to do the seal habitat, and we need to move across all of the reptiles and scales and stuff. The ones that are down here, they need to come up here, and then I need to make a decision on 2 more animals that I kind of want to put in, but they are more exhibit based, and I need to sleep on it. That's a tomorrow thing. So this is how Tinyani Gardens is now looking from the top. I mean, what a change from episode 3. It's just unreal. But guys, thank you so much for getting to the end of this episode. Let me know what you're thinking of this series, because you know, has this been fun for you, listening to me whinge about the game and prattle on about nature? How can you draw out a mini series, right? So yeah, let me know what you think of the series. Leave a like and a comment on the video below. But guys, until we speak again, please look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.